Hey Nancy Drew fans, we're back with book 23, The Mystery of the Tolling Bell. Originally published in 1946 and revised in 1973, this time I have a brand new 2007 printing. We start with Nancy, Bess, and George in Nancy's convertible on their way to Candleton on Whitecap Bay, and we jump right into a great making fun of Bess moment. You mean because of the mystery at Candleton? Bess asked teasingly. She was blonde and pretty. Right now I'm more interested in food. You shouldn't be, George said bluntly, glancing at her cousin's slightly plump figure. Nancy laughed. We have to eat, calories or not. In the next 17 pages, 4 different mysteries are quickly established. The widow Mrs. John Chantry, who the girls will be staying with during their visit, has recently been swindled out of a large sum of money. There are ghostly and mysterious happenings around the caves on the coast. A gypsy woman named Madame Papier has been selling knockoff fancy cosmetics. And Nancy finds a mysterious letter about some missing bells that have jewels embedded in them. Everyone's in pretty frequent danger, starting with when the girls go to investigate a haunting bell sound in a cave on the coast. Listen, George cried tensely. That roaring sound, hear it? Both girls froze to the spot, for the sound they heard was the mad rush of a great wall of water plunging toward them with the speed of an express train. Run! Screamed Nancy. Run for your life! In her escape, Nancy's knocked unconscious and has the most fantastic dream. Presently, 2 little brown elves crept from beneath a bush and stared at her as if she were an intruder. Nancy heard one of them say, "We can't allow her to stay here." "We certainly can't," agreed the other elf, whose voice was deeper. "We must move her before she wakes up." Nancy tried to resist, but the elves seemed to have cast a spell over her. Borne upon the shoulders of the elves, she was carried a long distance. Here's an illustration. Ned pops up repeatedly throughout the story. He's apparently living nearby selling insurance. It's a little weird how he keeps appearing at random places, but it comes in handy, including one scene where Nancy needs some help capturing a prisoner. The elf-like figure flayed out with his fists, losing his balance. As he went down, Nancy said, "Ned, can you take this man to the state police alone?" "With one hand," said Ned. Poor Ned is perpetually helpful and obviously head over heels, but he once again expresses some frustration at their relationship. "Mysteries," Ned exclaimed, turning out the lantern. "Haven't you had enough of them? Anyway, there's one puzzle I wish you would solve for me." "What's that?" "Why you always change the subject when I try to talk to you about something that isn't a bit mysterious." Nancy smiled and said, "Ned, someday I promise I'll listen." This story is actually really fun, partially because it gets more and more convoluted as Nancy tries to piece things together. When she gets one of the criminals talking, it takes him a full 7 pages to describe everything that they've done. A couple of food moments. The girls have lobster and puffed shrimp, tomatoes, coleslaw, potatoes, hot biscuits, lemonade, and apple pie at a roadside diner. And the tea room, owned by Mrs. Chantry, has a signature dish called the Dandy Tart, which is filled with steaming hot fish and topped with a salmon-colored meringue. Next up, the clue in the old album.